Canadian press reported last week that 14 whales and 1 dolphin have died at Marineland over the past 4 years. All but 2 of those 15 marine mammal deaths were among the park's beluga whales. This is according to a list created by the Ministry of the Solicitor General that was obtained through Freedom of Information laws. It shows 12 beluga deaths occurred during a 2-year window at the Niagara Falls attraction. During that time, provincial authorities raised concerns about the park's water quality and had declared all the marine mammals were under distress. Marineland denied any link between beluga whale deaths and the condition of the water they lived in. Well, joining us now to discuss the deaths of these mammals at Marineland is Ms. Camille Labchuk, an animal rights lawyer and executive director of Animal Justice here in Canada. Ms. Labchuk, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thanks for having me, Nima.
So can you walk us through this recent case and what we know so far about what led to these 15 deaths at Marineland?
Well, I wish that we knew more. Basically, all we know is that 13 of those animals were beluga whales, 1 was a dolphin, and 1 was the orca known as Kiska, who had lived for decades in solitary confinement at Marineland, probably the loneliest whale in the world. And she just died this past March after living all by herself for the last 10 years. Now, unfortunately, even though there's a legal requirement in Ontario for Marineland to conduct a necropsy on those whales, there's no requirement that that information be released publicly. So unfortunately, the public is still in the dark.
A lot of questions to be answered, ma'am. Now, this isn't the only time that Marineland has been in the hot seat. We mentioned the province in 2021 already highlighted concerns around the water quality at Marineland, and the park was also investigated for allegedly hosting illegal dolphin and whale performances that same year. And I know your organization was involved in the legal proceedings of that. So can you tell our viewers about these cases and how they ended?
Yes, Marineland is an aquarium with a decades-long history of legal concerns, charges that have been repeatedly dropped by Crown attorneys in the Niagara Region Courthouse, and very, very troubling information coming out there. So with respect to the water concerns, we don't know what happened to that case because, again, the Animal Welfare Services Agency, which is responsible for law enforcement around animals in this province, refuses to release any information about what follow-up steps they took on it. So we don't know if the water ever improved at Marineland. The only thing we did know is that they never got charged for it. When it comes to the illegal dolphin performances, Animal Justice did file a complaint because it actually became illegal in 2019 to use a whale or dolphin in a performance for entertainment in an aquarium. And we went down there, we filmed whales and dolphins being used in those ways, and dolphins used in shows where they're spinning in the air, performing tricks with trainers, and dancing to the song Mambo No. 5. So very clearly troubling activity that seemed to fall offside of the law. But unfortunately, the Crown attorney withdrew those charges against Marineland after a year without providing much of an explanation. So it's shocking that this aquarium, which has a very clear pattern of misconduct, has so far escaped any liability.
It's very shocking that Marineland is able to escape all of this, ma'am. Now, what about some of the legal implications of this latest case and involving these 15 marine mammal deaths? And what kind of steps would Animal Justice call for following this?
Well, we are calling, first of all, as I've repeatedly said, even on the show, for transparency. I think the public is so in the dark about the situation at Marineland, even though people clearly care very much about those whales and dolphins. Obviously, Canada passed laws in 2019 making it illegal to keep any whales or dolphins in captivity in the future and to breed the ones who are already at Marineland. So this is clearly a matter of intense public concern. We're calling for all the necropsy reports to be released publicly. And I believe very strongly that there is a great case for charging Marineland for animal cruelty. They kept Kiska the orca by herself for over a decade, which is very clearly a form of psychological torture. And the information that's concerning about the water quality could give rise to charges of animal distress as well under provincial laws.
And can we expect Animal Justice to be taking part in a legal case involving these 15 deaths at Marineland?
We're always looking at all of the options we can to hold Marineland accountable. We've filed repeated cruelty complaints over the years with enforcement authorities, including some of which have led to charges. So we are continuing to look at all legal avenues available to pursue this case because the whales and dolphins at Marineland continue to live in appalling conditions in small tanks. And we believe that they deserve justice, and we believe that they deserve to be transferred out of Marineland into a seaside sanctuary where they can live in some semblance of a natural life.
Ms. Labchuk, thank you again for your time today on Forum Daily.
Thanks for having me, Nima.
Thank you.